I moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing.
It was just an escape for me. I was just young, like everybody in the industry and people in the world who experiment and do.
The world of celebrity scandals is never short on jaw-dropping revelations, but the saga surrounding Sean Diddy Combs has taken things to an entirely new level. The glitz, the glamour, and the grit of Hollywood have always been built on secrets, but now, those secrets are spilling out, and it seems no one is safe. So, what's the latest chapter in this unfolding drama? Well, buckle up, because this one is wild. Diddy, the music mogul who built an empire and became a household name, is now facing what can only be described as a legal and public relations nightmare. And
to not be involved with a famous singer, to not come out, here's the price. And that they're just selling to the individuals that are in those. This is what I heard. They're selling those videos. So if you're Tommy X, and Tommy X is a big, big movie star, and he was at some of the Diddy parties, he was in one of those bedrooms with 3 other men, and he's happily married to a woman, and blah. Tommy doesn't want that video to come out. He does not want it to.
So, picture this. May is fast approaching, and while most of us are gearing up for spring, Diddy's team is scrambling in panic mode. Reports are swirling that Usher, the R&B legend whose career Diddy helped shape, could take the stand in a federal trial that has the entertainment industry collectively holding its breath. Usher's testimony could be the nail in the coffin for Diddy, who's already facing charges that could land him behind bars for decades.
Right?
Nah, not really. I mean, but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were
Diddy
13.
and
What were you
Usher's
seeing?
relationship goes back decades to a time when the music industry was a very different beast. Usher, a rising star with undeniable talent, was just a teenager when he crossed paths with Diddy. It was the 90s. The golden era of hip-hop and R&B, and Diddy was already making waves as a tastemaker and mogul. Usher's mother, dreaming of her son becoming a superstar, placed her trust in Diddy, sending him to what was then known as Puffy's Flavor Camp. The idea was that Diddy, with his industry clout and experience, could mentor Usher and guide him toward stardom. Little did anyone know, this mentorship would become the subject of scrutiny years later. Usher himself has opened up about that time in his life, and his words have only added fuel to the fire. In interviews, he has described the experience as wild, admitting that he was exposed to a lifestyle far beyond his years. He's talked about witnessing things he couldn't fully comprehend at the time, and while he has always chosen his words carefully, there's an undercurrent of unease in his recollections. I got a chance to see some things. I went there to see the lifestyle, and I saw it. I don't know.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place, and I didn't necessarily understand it.
But what exactly did Usher see during his time with Diddy, and why is it resurfacing now, decades later? Well, that's where things get murky. Rumors have persisted for years about what went on behind closed doors, and recent developments have only added weight to those whispers. Federal agents raided Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami earlier this year, reportedly uncovering evidence that has sent shockwaves through the industry. Diddy's legal team is now fighting tooth and nail to have that evidence thrown out, arguing that the searches were unconstitutional. According to them, the government...
It's getting hot.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Another layer to this story, Anne-Marie. A federal investigation into Combs has been ongoing, but he has not been charged with a crime.
And then there's Usher, the golden boy turned potential key witness. Industry insiders are buzzing with speculation about what he might reveal if he takes the stand. Could he shed light on Diddy's alleged misconduct? Could his testimony corroborate the accusations that have been piling up against the music mogul? Or could it simply be another piece of the puzzle in a case that's already bursting at the seams with allegations? One thing's...
But he got on Shay Shay and he mentioned how great and how good Puff taught him and everything.
Their relationship, once seen as a mentor-protege bond, is now under the microscope. Diddy has often spoken about how he molded Usher during those formative years, introducing him to the industry and its excesses. But critics argue that this so-called mentorship crossed a line, exposing a young Usher to a world he was too young to navigate. And Usher hasn't shied away from acknowledging the impact it had on him. He's admitted to struggling with insomnia, a habit he traces back to those sleepless nights during...
Dad, now, would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
But here's where it gets even more complicated. Usher isn't just a potential witness. He's also a man with his own share of scandals. Over the years, he's faced lawsuits and allegations, including claims that he knowingly passed on a medical condition to multiple partners. He's settled some of those cases, but the shadow of those allegations still looms large. And now, with his name being dragged into Diddy's legal troubles, it seems like history is repeating itself. Usher finds himself once again at the center of a storm, this time as both a potential victim and a key player in a high-stakes trial. So, what does this mean for Diddy? Well, the music mogul's empire is undoubtedly on shaky ground. His legal team is working overtime to suppress evidence and discredit witnesses, but the sheer...
It's so funny what's happening with Diddy because this was inevitable.
It's a tragic turn of events for two men who were once seen as brothers in arms, navigating the highs and lows of the music industry together. But as more details come to light, it's becoming clear that their bond wasn't as simple as it seemed. And with a trial date looming, the world is watching to see how this story will unfold. Will Usher's testimony be the tipping point that brings Diddy down, or will it raise even more questions about the dark side of the entertainment industry? The intrigue only deepens as we shift focus to another name that's been dragged into this whirlwind of allegations surrounding Sean, Diddy Combs, Justin Bieber. Yes, the global pop sensation who skyrocketed to fame as a teenager is now being tied to this convoluted saga, and the connections are raising eyebrows across the board. What do Justin Bieber, Usher, and Diddy have in common, you ask? A tangled web...
You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you tried to get in contact with me, through all my, partners.
When Justin Bieber was first introduced to the world, he was a fresh-faced, ultra-talented teenager with a voice that could melt hearts. But behind the scenes, his rapid ascent to superstardom wasn't just luck. It was orchestrated in part by Usher, who discovered Bieber on YouTube and took him under his wing. Usher, still basking in his own success, saw Bieber's potential and fought to sign him. But here's where things get interesting. Usher didn't just stop at mentoring Bieber himself. He also brought Diddy into the mix, a move that's now being scrutinized in light of the allegations against the hip-hop mogul. It's no secret that Diddy had a reputation for throwing his weight around in the industry, and Usher's decision to involve him in Bieber's career was seen as a power move at the time. After all, Diddy was a larger-than-life figure, someone who could open doors that most artists could only dream of. But what was the cost of that access? Reports suggest that Bieber's association with Diddy was far from the mentorship experience Usher had envisioned. In fact, some insiders claim that Bieber's time with Diddy left an indelible mark, one that the pop star has been trying to erase ever since. Let's rewind to 2009. Justin Bieber, a minor at the time, spent 48 hours with Diddy in what was described as a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Diddy himself hyped up the encounter, comparing it to the classic buddy film 48 Hours and calling it every teenager's dream. The pair were photographed riding around in luxury cars, hanging out in Diddy's mansion, and generally living the high life. But what really happened during those 2 days? Diddy refused to go into detail, cryptically stating that their activities were not for public consumption. "Where we were hanging out and what we're doing, we can't really disclose," Diddy said at the time. Asterisk, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. Asterisk now. This is where the story starts to take a darker turn. Rumors have circulated for years about what Bieber was exposed to during his time with Diddy.
What'd they do to him? Because there's a lot of speculation out there, but nobody, I've heard things, but what did they really do to him?
What's particularly striking is how Bieber's silence contrasts with his earlier openness about his struggles. In the past, he's been candid about the pressures of fame, even citing specific moments where he felt manipulated or overwhelmed by those around him. But when it comes to his time with Diddy, there's been little to no commentary. Some sources suggest that Bieber has been legally advised to stay quiet, given the potential fallout of a public statement. Others believe that he's simply trying to bury a chapter of his life he'd rather not relive. Regardless, The absence of his voice on this matter has only fueled speculation, leaving fans and critics alike to piece together the story from cryptic interviews and resurfaced clips. Adding another layer to this tangled web is the rumored existence of video recordings allegedly taken at Diddy's infamous gatherings. These tapes, which are said to feature a mix of celebrities and rising stars, have reportedly sparked a bidding war behind closed doors. According to insiders, certain high-profile figures are desperate to ensure the tapes never see the light of day, fearing the damage they could do to their career.
Look at Diddy, for instance. Let's take a look at him. Let's take a look at, he has videos. He has videos of the parties. Now, what I've heard, which I don't know how much of it is in mainstream media, I don't really follow the story that much, but what I've heard from friends that are attorneys, friends of mine that have represented me before, agents and so on, is there's a bidding war going on.
What's equally fascinating, though, is the domino effect this scandal could have on other Hollywood heavyweights. Diddy's connections run deep, and his infamous gatherings were attended by some of the biggest names in the business. As more accusers come forward and investigations dig deeper, there's a growing fear that this could be the beginning of a larger reckoning. Industry veterans are reportedly bracing for impact, with some already preemptively scrubbing their public ties to Diddy. This potential unraveling of networks and alliances has left many wondering just how far-reaching the consequences could be, not just for Diddy, but for an entire system that allowed such behavior to flourish unchecked for so long. What's more, Bieber's decision to turn down an opportunity to perform with Usher at the 2024 Super Bowl halftime show raised even more questions. The Super Bowl is one of the most coveted stages in the world, and for Bieber to pass it up suggests that his relationship with Usher, and by extension, Diddy, may be more complicated than it appears on the surface. Usher, for
I hate to say that. I hate to say that because I really like Justin Bieber. I feel bad for Justin Bieber. And this is when that happened.
Adding to the speculation is a resurfaced clip from Jimmy Kimmel Live in which Bieber and Diddy appeared together. During the interview, Diddy made a comment that raised more than a few eyebrows. He warned Bieber not to talk about the things he does with Big Brother Puff on national television, adding, "everything ain't for everybody." The remark, while seemingly lighthearted at the time, has taken on a new significance in light of the allegations against Diddy. What exactly were those things, and why were they so secretive? The internet has been ablaze with theories, and some of them are downright chilling. One particularly troubling claim comes from none other than...
Hey, Suge, you know, yeah, Justin Bieber has been getting this out in different ways. You know, you could see it in his music and just what he's been trying to say without saying it. So
while Knight's credibility is questionable at best, his comments have added fuel to an
Let's take Justin Bieber. Grown man take Justin Bieber when he was young. A romantification of showing pictures on his...
Bieber's silence on the matter has only added to the intrigue. While he's been vocal about his struggles with fame and mental health, he's never directly addressed his relationship with Diddy or the rumors surrounding their time together. Some say he's staying quiet to protect his career, while others believe he's still processing the impact of those early experiences. Whatever the case may be, his decision to step back from the public eye and...
Stevie J, the Usher part, that's a touchy situation.
And then there's the question of why Usher, who fought so hard to sign Bieber, would hand him over to Diddy in the first place. Some insiders speculate that Usher was trying to curry favor with Diddy, leveraging his own relationship with the mogul to boost Bieber's career. Others believe that Usher genuinely thought Diddy could provide Bieber with opportunities he couldn't. Either way, the decision has come back to haunt both men, as their names are now forever intertwined in a scandal that shows no signs of dying down. Hey, as for Diddy, his legal troubles are mounting by the day. With more accusers coming forward and his own attorneys jumping ship, it's clear that the walls are closing in. And while he's maintained his innocence...
what his team is trying to do is get the public to assume that the government is leaking some of this negative information about him, like that Cassie video. But the reality is, he's got a lot of enemies, and I really don't believe it's the government.
So, where does this leave Usher and Bieber? Both men have tried to move on from their pasts, but the shadow of Diddy looms large. Usher, despite his own controversies, has managed to maintain a successful career, but his involvement in this case could change everything. Bieber, on the other hand, seems to be taking a different approach, focusing on his faith and his family as he distances himself from the industry that made him a star. But the real question is, how deep does this rabbit hole go? Are Usher and Bieber just the tip of the iceberg, or are there more names waiting to be revealed? And what will their stories mean for...
And there has been a lot going on. Since November, there have been 8 civil lawsuits filed against Diddy. 7 of them accuse him of sexual assault.
As the drama surrounding Diddy, Usher, and Justin Bieber continues to unfold, we can't help but wonder, how far does this scandal reach, and who else might be implicated? Could there be more victims or witnesses waiting in the wings, ready to share their stories? And what does this mean for the future of the music industry, which has long been shrouded in secrecy and scandal? Share your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going and see where this wild ride takes us next. Until then, stay tuned for more celebrity gossip and intrigue. Goodbye for now.